Hey ladies, so today's video is going to be my spring beauty routine. So I'm going to show you my go-to hair, the skincare I've been using, and then also my go-to makeup look for an everyday look in the spring. So we're going to start off with the hair. It's very, very simple, but I'm going to start off with freshly blown out hair. I have very, very curly hair and I hate wearing it curly, so I blow dry it straight, but I don't like the way it looks blow dried. So I'm going to start off with some Kenra Platinum blow dry mist, and I'm going to spray this in my hair because it's a really, really awesome heat protectant, and it also adds gorgeous shine to the hair. So I'm going to spray that throughout all of the hair, and then I'm going to section off the bottom half of my hair. I've said hair so many times, I'm like annoying myself. I'm going to clip the top up, and then I'm going to brush it out, and I'm going to take my Numi Silhouette flat iron. This is like the best tool ever for curling your hair, even though it's a flat iron. And I basically just take like 1-inch sections of my hair and then go through and curl the ends. I don't like them to be too curly, so I kind of flat iron the top half of the piece, and then I flip it around and curl the ends. And when you're done, it's going to be gorgeous, beautiful waves. This is like the easiest, quickest way I can do my hair. The flat iron smooths out all the frizzies, and it also gives great bounce and curl, and this stuff lasts forever. Like, I can curl my hair one day a week and I won't have to curl it again for another like 2 or 3 days, and I can just sleep on it, brush it out in the morning, and the waves get looser and looser, but it still looks pretty like throughout the whole week. So I've been loving it, especially with school. I just take one day out of the week to curl my hair, and then every morning I can just kind of brush it out, touch up a few pieces if I need to, and I'm good to go. So now I've taken down a second section of my hair, and I'm going through and doing the exact same thing, just taking random like 1-inch chunks of your hair and wrapping the flat iron around it and curling the ends. This is such an easy hair look, I swear to God. I hate doing my hair, and I've been doing this every day just because it's super easy. And I like to do smaller sections like this because I do have a lot of hair and it's very curly, so I like to make sure to get every piece and make sure that it's straightened and smooth and not going to frizz up on me during the day, especially if it starts raining. This won't frizz, which is like my biggest thing. When my hair starts to frizz, I'm like, no, I can't do it. So I'm just taking my time, curling every little section, and I like to do it in 3 different sections of my head because, like I said, my hair is very thick, so I need to get every single tiny piece. I have like a huge pet peeve of like missing pieces in my hair. Like if one piece isn't curled and the rest is, I'll like freak out. I'm like such a weirdo. But yeah, I'm just gonna go through and curl my hair. I'm concentrating a little bit more around the frame of my face because I have like tiny little baby hairs that never straighten, so I have to like take a little bit of extra time around the front of my face because that's the part that people are going to see first, so you want to take a little bit of extra time. And then for the top part, I like to kind of like make sure that they're framing and like going away from the face, and then also take a little bit of extra effort to make some volume at the root. So I'll like take the flat iron, kind of flip it, and make a little bit of a bump towards the root of my hair just so that it's nice and full and voluminous there. And then once we're done flat ironing the hair, I just like to take my fingers and shake it through to kind of loosen up the curls and make it a little bit more messy. But once you do that, you're basically done with the hair, and I absolutely love it. It's like what I've been wearing every single day, no matter where I go. But now we're going to move on to the skincare. I'm just going to show you the skincare products I've been using recently because I've been loving them. So as you can see, I have a nice clean face, and the first thing I would use is obviously a face wash. I've been loving this Neutrogena Naturals Purifying Facial Cleanser recently. I've used it in the past and I love it. And then after I wash my face, I'll go in with my toner, which is the Mario Badescu Cucumber Cleansing Lotion. Love it, very gentle for the skin. And then I'll go in with this Perversion Facial Tonic. I don't know what a facial tonic is, but I've been loving it. It's been doing wonders. And then I'll go in with a serum. This is the Skin Ink Brightening Serum. Absolutely love it. Feels great on the skin. And then after that, I'll go in with my favorite daytime moisturizer, which is the Mario Badescu Ginseng Moist Cream. Great for normal to dry skin. And then recently I've implemented a sunscreen into my routine, which is this Clarins one. It's beautiful, not greasy, and I love it. And then I'll finish it off with some eye cream. This is my favorite. It's the First Aid Beauty Eye Duty Triple Remedy Eye Cream. And that's it for skincare. Now we're gonna move on to makeup. So I like to start off with my brows. Of course, brows are life. So I'm going to start off with my Brow Wiz from Anastasia Beverly Hills in the shade Soft Brown. And I use this to kind of shape the outer edges of my brows, and I use something else to kind of fill in the sparse areas. But we're just going to go around the edges and kind of define that line and define the shape of your brows. This is by far the best brow product I've ever used, and you guys know it. I use it in literally every single video. I use it every single day. It is my entire life. I love this brow pencil. If you don't have it, get it. And then I'm going to take the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Powder Duo in the shade Medium Brown, and I'm going to take that on this kind of tiny smudger brush thing. And I'm just going to go in and fill in these sparse areas of my brows with it. It looks a lot more natural than doing the whole brow with the Brow Wiz, and I've been loving the effect that it's had. So I go ahead and fill in the brow with that, and then I just set everything with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel. This stuff is a little bit sticky and can make your brows like a little bit hard, but it keeps your brows in place all day, which is what we want. So then I'm going to go in and carve in. I can't speak. Okay, I'm gonna go in and carve out my brows with the NYX Above and Beyond Full Coverage Concealer. I love carving out my brows. You guys might not like that, but I just love it. It makes them look so much cleaner, more defined, and if I've skipped a day or two of not plucking the stray hairs, this cleans it up perfectly and hides those stray hairs the best way possible, other than plucking them, obviously. But I just go in and carve them out and then blend it out, because you don't want to see that line of concealer, obviously. So we need to blend it all out. And then I'm going to start with the face. I'm going to take my favorite primer combo, which is the Smashbox Pore Minimizing Primer. I put that one on first to kind of fill in any gaps on my skin. And then after that, I'll go in with the Hourglass Mineral Veil Primer and smooth that all over the face, because it makes your foundation glide on like a dream. And then I'm going to use my favorite foundation combo at the moment, which is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation and the Bourjois Healthy Mix Serum Foundation, mixing these two together and just putting them on my skin with the Sigma F80 brush. I love this combo. It has a great coverage and also a great finish. It's nice and natural and fresh and dewy, and it looks great in the springtime. It makes you look nice and wide awake and fresh and beautiful. I absolutely love it. So I'm just blending that all over my face. And then I'm going to go in and conceal and highlight with the L'Oreal Visible Lift Blur Concealer. I've been recently really loving this one. It's always been a favorite of mine, but I've reached to it more recently. I don't actually know why, but it's amazing. If you guys haven't checked it out already, I always recommend it. It's incredible. Reminds me a lot of the MAC Pro Longwear, but it's obviously a lot cheaper. Actually, it's not a lot cheaper, but it is cheaper. So now I'm going to take my Kat Von D Shade Light Palette and take those two lighter shades in it and set that concealer. I don't set my entire face just because I have normal to dry skin, so I don't necessarily need to, because I kind of like when my natural oils come through, but I do want to set that concealer so it doesn't crease. Now I'm going to go in with this bronzer shade in the contour palette, or the contour shade, and I'm going to bronze up the skin. I'm not necessarily going to contour because I don't really like a harsh contour on an everyday basis, but I am going to take this Sonia Kashuk brush and really buff the bronzer into my skin so I have a nice warmer tone and everything looks a little bit less flat, if you know what I mean. And then I'm going to go in with this Borghese blush in the shade Thrill. It's a really pretty kind of neutral peachy coral blush. It's like peachy coral but kind of subdued. So I just pop that on my cheeks with an angled contour brush. And then I'm going to go in with my favorite highlighter of all time, which is the Becca highlighter in Opal. I'm just going to pop that on my cheekbones and down the center of my face to give me that glow that I literally can't live without. I need to glow to the max every single day. I don't care where I'm going, I'm going to glow. So now we're going to start on the eyes finally. I'm going to jump into my Lorac Pro 2 palette and I'm going to get the shade Nectar, and I'm going to buff this in the crease as our transition shade. This eyes part is kind of out of focus because I was leaning a little bit too close into my mirror, so I'm sorry about that. But you kind of get the point of what I'm doing, so I'm just buffing that into my crease, and then I'm going to take light brown on an E25 brush and throw that in the crease as well. This is just going to add a little bit of definition and a little bit more depth in the eye. You don't necessarily need to do this, but I like to because I like my crease to be a little bit more prominent, so I just buff that in the crease, and then I also take that light brown shade on a flat definer brush and I line the lower lash line with it. This is going to define the eyes kind of subtly and not too intensely, and I just take that E25 and run it along where we defined the lower lash line. And then I'm going to take the shade Beige from that palette and use this to highlight the brow bone. If you don't like a shimmery highlight under the brow, you can use Buff in the palette, but on an everyday basis I kind of like to glow to the max, so I went ahead and put that under my brow. And then on the lid, I'm going to take Rosé. This is the most gorgeous eyeshadow ever. Like, I'm in love with it. And I'm just going to pack that on the lid because on an everyday basis, this is the color I go for. This is like so me, like Ashley to the max. Rosé is my favorite. And then I took Beige once again and highlighted the inner corners of my eye with it, just so I look a little bit more wide awake and fresh. And now I'm going to go in with this random Alcone matte brown eyeshadow. I'm going to use this to as my eyeliner on my top lash line. So I just took that same flat definer brush and kind of pushed it along that top lash line to kind of define the eyes, but I didn't want any harsh liner. I usually don't like to use eyeliner on an everyday basis. It takes too much time. And now I'm going to go ahead and curl my lashes. Finally back in focus because I noticed I was out of focus. I'm going to go ahead and curl my lashes with this e.l.f. lash curler. And then I'm going to pop on the Urban Decay Perversion mascara. When I first bought this, I didn't necessarily like it too much, but one day I wore it and all of my friends at school were like, oh my god, your lashes look great. So now it's my new favorite thing. Even if I didn't like it before, now I do because I got compliments. And now I'm going to take the It Cosmetics Tightline mascara and use this for my lower lashes because this is the greatest invention for lower lashes ever. I am obsessed with this stuff. It makes your lower lashes look like they're falsies, but they're not. And now for lips, we're going to go in with this Rimmel lip liner in the shade Spice, and we're just going to line our lips. This is kind of similar to Rose Brown lip liner, but it's lighter, so for an everyday basis, it's a little bit more wearable. And then I'm going to go in with a combo of these LA Girl matte glosses in the shade Fantasy, which I put on first. And then once that is on, I go ahead and mix it with the shade Dreamy, and it gives you kind of a peachy neutral shade. But I decided that it was a little bit too dark, so I took some of the Melted Sugar lipstick from Too Faced and put that in the center to kind of give us a little bit of an ombre lip, but I did take my finger and blend it out a lot because I didn't want it to be too apparent. But yeah, once you do that, you're basically done with the look. I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Leave me comments down below letting me know what your spring beauty routine is. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.